Hey, you guys. You know who this is? It is Poetic Old Soul, and I actually want to read something to you guys. And yes, believe it or not, it is a poem, and this is not some little recording where it's going to be uploaded on SoundCloud or anything like that. This is exclusively on the Poetic Old Soul channel on YouTube. So, yes, I want to share a piece that I feel is very appropriate to Black History Month because of a little situation that happened to me in a safe space, actually, in a very safe space. And I'm not going to say any further details. Only a selective few knows the tea on what happened. But in this poem here, it's gonna kind of break it down to what happened and what it made me feel after it happened. And this piece is called This Might Go Left. Right. I know I said left and then I said right. But this piece is called This Might Go Left. And once I read this piece, you will understand why I say that. And I feel like, and if I haven't said it because I'm just talking and rapping to you guys, that this piece is very, and I mean very appropriate for Black History Month because I really had to break this down. And I never thought in a million years that I will ever write a particular piece like this, of this magnitude. So if you hear little clicks here and there, just bear with me. I just need to scroll down what I'm reading. So here it is. It is entitled This Might Go Left. This might go left in a field of a misunderstanding that only I, as a sister, can overstand. How one was unexpectedly singled out in a safe space by being told by a woman of a Caucasian shade in front of everyone that she, a Black woman, would have to share her art and receive donations outside of a safe space over a restriction that was never told prior, when she, a Black woman, had no intentions on hustling, nor had any intent on showing and telling her life's work after the woman of a Caucasian shade asked about it. This might go left in a field of a misunderstanding that only I, as a sister, can overstand. The Caucasian woman's strict rule should have been respectfully presented to me in private, but I was mortified and insulted instead. The unexpected strict rule made me, a Black woman, feel like I was back in time. A time where my own people couldn't share their art in places and venues where only whites were allowed and would have to enter through the back door rather than the front door like white people freely did. Where we couldn't get educated in the same classrooms as white people because of the color of our skin. Where we have to sit in the back of the bus, where we have to go to colored only places and water fountains, where we couldn't even have a simple cup of coffee at a Woolworth and was tortured, burned, beaten, and embarrassed. Instead, as we stood our ground, where our own people were banned from establishments like banks, libraries, stores, clubs, restaurants, etc., and how we were segregated to the fullest over white people's rules to keep us separated. I couldn't help but to feel discriminated, not only as an artist, but as a Black woman. Never in my life had an experience like this came to my attention. Even if it was unintentional, but it deeply felt like it was an attack. And yes, it was personal. However, if a white woman can walk a few seconds in my shoes and knows what it felt like to be told to sell your art outside of a safe space in a rudely manner in front of others where outside is not so safe, I'm sure she will feel like how I was feeling. Or maybe not, because nobody can relate to this expression that could be looked at and misunderstood as myself, a Black woman going left. And that's that fucking piece. Because you guys, Yeah, yeah, that happened to me. And the reason why I say that this might go left, because of the fact that as a black woman who has experienced a situation like that, it did felt like I was back in the civil rights movement. It did felt like I was in a segregated space in the South or somewhere. It did felt like I felt like I was having a post-traumatic slavery syndrome. It's another form of a PTSD. I felt like my ancestors who went through that mess. And the fact that we still go through that shit today, we still go through that kind of racism today with all the shootings that are happening, as we are being, man, just shot up like target practice innocently. And the whole thing with I almost said all lives matter. That's what white people say when they want to dismiss our situation and don't really want to emphasize what the fuck we are going through. Right? Black Lives Matter. I mean, I'm very proud that movement started here in the Bay Area. And it's just, all that's going on today, it's like history is really repeating itself, and I see it and I'm aware of it, and I might not speak up about it, but I feel like my situation is like, wow, man, I felt like a lot of black folks who went through that kind of mess of, oh, you can't enter into this club. You can't enter into this Woolworth. You can't do this. You can't do that because of these restrictions, because of the color of your skin. Now, I will say for the record that when that situation happened, it really did not have anything to do with the color of my skin, but yet at the same time, I did thought about it. It might, honestly, I really don't know what this woman's intentions were. I mean, she said it wasn't her intentions. She did apologize for her actions, but it still stung a little bit because, that it happened in front of everybody in the space that I was in, and everybody else was telling me, man, she should have pulled you to the side like a professional and and what she told me was she felt like she came in a quote unquote non-judgmental casual way, and it really wasn't the case at all. Okay, so and I know it sounds like I'm slanderizing this person, but I'm not. And then it hit me. I'm like, okay. It hit me just the other day, and this might sound a little petty, but I was like, okay, it's okay for you to sell soda or get donations from people to get soda at a movie night that you hosted in a center where we're not allowed to sell anything, quote unquote. And I didn't even know about this rule prior, like I said, but yet it's not okay for me to get any form of donations from my peoples when I really had no intentions on getting any donations from my poetry books, bracelets, whatever, my art, period, dot. And that shit did not sit well with me. I'm like, okay, again, if y'all didn't hear me correctly, it's okay for this woman to say, oh, a soda is $1 for at the movie night that we were gonna have and host in this particular center, but yet when I was receiving donations, oh, you're not allowed. Are you fucking kidding me? No. That changed my perception about this particular person, whether she's white or otherwise. It just, no. So, yeah, I just had to address how I feel. And when I wrote this piece, I felt it, and I felt that it needed to be addressed. And yes, I did feel like I was under an attack, and it did not feel good. Never in my life, once again, have I ever experienced like something like that ever in my life, ever, for somebody to tell me you're not allowed to do something. You know what I'm saying? And it's from a white person, and as a black female, I'm hearing this shit, and it was done in front of people. in a very unprofessional, embarrassing, mortifying kind of way. Just jumping into conclusions. Damn. So, whew, but I digress. So I hope you guys enjoyed the piece. And I know I've made this audio long enough. So with that being said, we are out of here. Woo, 10 minutes and 20 something seconds. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm all stuttering. Ha! Mwah! Poetic Soul signing out. And I'm out, you guys. Peace. And another audio, whatever, is coming soon. All right, y'all. Peace. And happy Black History Month. My glory. I don't know if it's so happy, but whatever, hey, we got to be visible and we got to say how we feel and stand up for ourselves. Period. Dot. I'm out. Peace.